Hello and good evening. Everyone doing? Woo woo! Happy Wednesday! Cheers and happy holidays. It's the day after Christmas. How was your Christmas? I hope it was wonderful, right? And then we have Happy New Year's. Wee! Coming up. Okay, so that being said, are you frenemies with your kitchen, with your own kitchen? So let's go ahead and I'm going to show you a few tips on how to make cooking and becoming changing your frenemies to liking and enjoying what you're doing in your own kitchen. We all have to eat, so hashtag why not learn how to cook, right? Okay, so that being said, hello. So knife. And you know it's Wednesday, so it's always why not. We have a drinking game, but we have to think safety first, right? So if you're following along, I would suggest you grab a plastic knife or a butter knife to practice if you have not done this before. And this is just for everyone's safety, okay? Disclaimer, I'm not responsible for anything. Please do not pick up a knife if you don't feel comfortable. If you had way too many drinks, put the knife down. Step away, okay? That being said, hello again. Okay, so I'm going to teach you the basics. Onion, of the stuff that we use every day, right? Tomato, a green bell pepper, avocado. Hopefully she's ripe. She's nice and soft, but I mean I got her like a week ago. We have garlic. And then we have cilantro. Oh, there you are. And then we have cilantro, which you're like, oh, I don't like cilantro, but it's the same way to cut cilantro as you cut parsley, spinach, a chiffonade. That's what that's called. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn you guys around. I'm gonna give you a few tips on the basic knife skills, how the proper way to hold a knife, and it's gonna be fun, right? You gotta make it fun. A couple tips on how you want your cutting board and what have you. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch you around. So just hang on, put on your seatbelt. This might be a little. Oh, there you guys are. And I'm gonna go ahead and lower you so I can actually see, and you guys can see. So thank you so much. Go ahead and like and subscribe. We do recipes here. We always have a drinking game. I give you tips and tricks. You don't have to be a professional chef to cook like one, honestly. Okay? Yes, I am a professional chef, but I'm making it easy for you guys and giving you like all these tips and tricks that I've learned over the past years. Okay, so first off, you gotta have a cutting board. You gotta have it clean. Okay, you're like, oh, I want to make my recipe, and then you just throw it on your cutting board. It's gonna slide. This is very dangerous. You have a sharp object, you have food, you have your fingers. A moving object. Not good, right? Not good. I always choose a drinking word of the day. So if you're using a plastic knife, you could drink. If not, you drink or you do exactly what I'm doing right now. Or you have a couple drinks and then come back and watch this again. Or you put down your beverage, the only sip that you took, and you follow along. Or you can just watch us and share, right? Beep, boop. Okay, safety first. So what you want to do is you have a cutting board, it's clean. You want to go ahead and take a damp paper towel. Or I have a, like a hand towel. It's a small hand towel. You want to put it underneath your cutting board. It needs to be damp and clean. Okay, guys? That's a stain from wine. Disregard that. But this is real life. You know what I mean? This prevents it from slipping. Look at that. It's not moving. It's not going anywhere. So I'm going to scoot you guys over. Okay? The second most important thing is a knife. have to kind of take control of the knife. Some people are intimidated by this tool, and I totally understand. You don't want to hold it all flimsy like this, okay? You want to hold it like you're in control, okay? You can't go like this if you're scared of the knife. You have to you don't have to hold it so tight that your hand turns red, okay, right? Shake your head yes if you know what I'm talking about. If you're doing something and your hand's like, it turns red like that, right? No, relax. But hold it with a little bit of authority, you know? You're going to wrap your fingers like this. There's a few ways to hold the knife, but this is how you start to make sure that the knife feels good, okay? You have your 3 fingers on the handle. You place your index finger along with the back of the knife, okay? Because this gives you more control. You could put your thumb back here, or you could scoot it up a little bit. And it's going to take a while. It's going to feel weird at first, but you're going to get it. It's going to, after a while, like everything else, it's going to feel natural. And you don't want to hold it like this, because look at it. See, like you pick up the knife and you hold it like this? The knife is going to, go down. You need to, have a little bit authoritative. Let the knife know that you're the boss. You are the boss. So, I've been doing this for 19 years. So, and this is my first class. Let's go with that. So, cheers. So, I feel comfortable and I'm going to be okay. Okay? So, you have this, you have that. You don't want to go like this and make all kinds of noise and just roughly chopped. Say if your hand, you're holding the tomato, right? And you're like, what's there? Before the tomato, your hand is all exposed. Your fingers are like, hey, cut me, cut me. No, 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 no. Okay? So what you want to do is you want to basically, the tip of the knife is at a pivot point, okay? Right? And you need to have a sharp knife. Some people say oh no, a sharp knife, that's going to hurt more. No. A dull knife actually is going to cause more damage because there's so much pressure that you're putting into the knife. So much torque. And, you're so strong that you have all this power behind you. So anything that you're cutting, if goodness forbid that the knife and your finger happen to meet up, then it's going to go in further. It's going to go in stronger. If it's a sharp knife, the knife cuts it for you. You don't have to thrust it so much. So the knife does all the work. So it'll be oh, ow, a little paper cut and that hurts, right? But I'll show you a few tricks of how you could prevent that. Okay, so here, come with me. Another field trip. So we have an avocado, we have garlic, we have tomato, cilantro, onion, and bell pepper. Common things that we use every day for dishes and what have you. Okay? So, we got the knife, we got the wet towel underneath, we know how to hold it, grasp, thumb, forefinger. It's going to take a little bit, or even if you want to do this, that's better. This is my way. I had to put the knife down and just kind of get back into the groove of things. See how I automatically just pick it up? My index finger is right here. It's not right there. It's right there. It's a little bit more leverage, okay? So just practice. Pick up that plastic knife. You have your 3 fingers. Beep boop, right? And this is how the other side looks. You can move your thumb up a little bit more, but up here on the top of the blade. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. The first thing you want to do is always start with something that's a little bit more dry. The onions might make you cry. And I didn't mean to rhyme right there, but I did. So that's 5 points for me, right? And the drinking word of the day, let's go ahead and say dice. Okay? Dice is, but only if you don't have a sharp knife. Okay? So the driest thing I think I want to do, garlic is pretty sticky, so I'm going to go with the pepper. There's a few different ways you can cut the pepper. You can go boopsh, 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 Or you could do it another way. I'm going to do it the other way. Another video, you've seen me probably slice it the other way. But also these fingers, right? If I were to cut this, look at my fingers are like in the way. You want to go ahead and like do a claw. It's going to feel a little weird at first, but make a claw. See how you can grasp it? Okay? I'm going to cut it this way. Slice down. You take out this piece. You just grab it with your hands. Give the back of it like a little tap, like this. Boop, boop, boop. Everything's out. You pull out the pulp, okay? This stuff, don't throw this away. Empty out the little seeds. Don't throw this away, because look at all of this meat that you could use. Okay, guys? So claw, thumb, behind, like so, right? You have the tip of the knife down on the cutting board, and you pivot. Turn it around. You could use your thumb as, you could just call it a pusher or a tab. The thumb, like, pushes the food along, and it moves it. Okay? Now, look at all these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. As you said, 11, 12, 13, or as I said before, I'm not very good at math, so that's 13 pieces that you didn't have before. Then what you want to do is, do you see how I turned them around? Yeah, granted, these are a little bit like, you know, not the exact same cut, but you gather them around because it's the top of the thing. Do your claw. Keep the tip of the knife to the board. Keep your thumb tucked behind your knuckles, behind your claw. And even if you have like a big piece, just go back and there you go, cut it. If you're going to scrape against like this, you have to be used to it, and you scrape up. Don't scrape down because your finger might go against the blade. You scrape up, or you could just tap. Okay? So that's, look at all of that green bell pepper that you got from the top of the green bell pepper. Some people just throw it away. Go ahead, you slice down. You're going to take your palm and press. Because it's kind of hard to like cut something that's all rounded, right? So you're going to press upon it. This white stuff, I mean, if it's in a stew or what have you, you could have it. This is edible, but in restaurants and what have you, we don't want that. So did you see how I press my palm? And this is like, you could get rid of that. Okay, I'll show you again with this one. Okay, so I already pressed it down. I'm going to press it again. Press it again. See how my hand is like this? I start cutting it. Once I feel comfortable, I'm going to put my fingers on the other side. I'm going to get rid of this. Okay? So then let's do some julienne. Okay? You always want to cut with the flesh side up. This is very waxy. So it has a tendency maybe to slip. If you are commenting, hello, thank you. I cannot read the comments at this particular moment. Maybe if I press the comment button, let me see. Maybe that will help. I don't know. But let's go ahead and carry on, okay? Thank you. So, the claw. And some of them you might have to kind of like, you know, whoa, pierce with your nail to kind of like lift up a little bit. Or you could do the claw. But, so, julienne. Okay, thin strips. You could use this in like a pasta primavera. This is very popular, right? And even if you want these a little bit, you know, in halvesies, kind of line them up really quickly and there you go. So there's some julienne, cut in half. Then you have some more julienne. Let's just say we're doing a pasta primavera. You can even have these thinner or thicker depending on how you move your fingers, how much space you allow in between your fingers and the knife. See, at the beginning it was a bigger space, at the end it was thinner. Okay? Move this over, and let's go ahead and do a small, let's do a medium dice. Recipes are calling for like a dice. It's usually medium. Then you turn them over. This guy fits perfectly in that pile. Those are miscellaneous, okay? You always want to allow yourself room, too. Plenty of room on the cutting board. That guy's a little big. So you line them all up. So usually when a recipe calls for dice, it's usually medium dice. Okay, guys? So then you have that. Scoot these over. Okay, next, let's go ahead and do an onion. Okay, so this is the bulb of the onion. This keeps the whole onion intact. Okay, so what you want to do is go ahead and slice this way. Put that to the side. You're going to have to slice right down the middle like that. Chop. Okay, for those that are not cutting, what was the word of the day? Dice or chop? Chop, dice. There you go. There's 2 drinks right there. So wine not, right? Hashtag wine not. Then you have all this. So what you're going to do is you're going to peel back. You have this like layer, the outside, right? Oh, that smells so good. Why have you not invented smell-o-vision? Yummy. Okay, so of course you want to take this back. This one's thankfully not that strong, right? But then also you have this layer, which is a little thin. You want this guy too, because he's a little slippery. And you see that little white? Like little film? You're going to take that back, guys. Okay? It just keeps it safer from preventing slippage. Slippage! Oh, that should have been the word of the day. That would have been fun. Okay. So depending on how small you want your dice, you can go ahead and don't cut in the air. I'm just showing you. You can cut 1, 2, 3. Okay. You do the claw. 1, 2, 3, right? And then depending on small dice or big dice, is you make the incisions. You kind of hold it and then you kind of lift as you're pressing down the knife. Okay? Go ahead with the claw. And there might be a piece or 2 that comes to the side, and that's totally okay. Just move it, because otherwise it might just distract you. When you get too close, take this piece of onion, lay it over. Okay, here comes the tears. So I have small dice, guys. Oh my goodness. So beautiful. Okay, so then I scoot those guys over. Like literally my eyes are a little on fire. So once I get enough tears, I'll show you guys. But there's sometimes that I'm cutting so much, now I'm closing my eyes, that I need to go ahead and walk into the walk-in or rinse my eyes so I can continue cutting. And then this way, okay, look we turned it over, right? Because that's a little close for you guys. And even for me, you go ahead and go like so. You keep it laying flat. And then you turn it back over. But you already put the new slits in it. And there you go. That's all separating. The more you separate an onion, the stronger the fumes. Wowzer. Okay, and then again, we'll just go ahead and slice this guy. After I'm done with the onions, I'm going to put them back on the sheet pan. I'm going to move over my sheet pan, otherwise known as cookie sheet. Okay, I'm going to go with thin slice. So my claw is back in action. Right? So I'm going to go ahead and move these over here. And now I want to do a little thicker. I started that one a little thicker. That one's a little crooked. It's okay. So I just allow more space in between my knuckles and the knife. And even I'm right here, I can go like that. Okay? Wow, those onions are strong. Woo! Dice chop, guys. Dice chop. Wow. Okay. I'm not tearing up yet. But you guys want to see? Well, you can't fully see. I don't really want to cry in front of you. But my eyes are turning like red and burning. So I'm going to move the onions over to the sheet pan. Okay? And red onions usually aren't the strong. It's usually white onions that get me. But this guy, he's pretty strong. Yeah. Okay, so here we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and move my onions. That's a fun way to say it. Oh, one green pepper escaped. Move most of my onions over to the sheet pan, okay? Just to get them out of my direct line of fire in my eyesight so I could stop crying and see what I'm doing. Whoo! You guys. Crazy. Ow, it's starting to burn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get another towel that I have and just kind of wipe off the remnants because here it comes. Not like tears like you cry, but definitely you could feel it like all through your lungs. And besides it being kind of annoying, like it's a little dangerous. If you have tears in your eyes, you can't see anything. Okay, so our next thing is, let's go ahead and do garlic because the tomato is really juicy. You have the bulb, right? Let me go ahead and move these guys over. So hello again. If you're just joining. So I don't even know what I should create with all these vegetables. Stir fry, pasta salad. Okay, so I have a garlic, right? You can just go ahead and like get all mad at it and go like this. I've seen some do that. I've seen people. You can go ahead and cut and then crush, or you can take this, the back of, your knife, right? You have the bulb. Actually, this is big, so this is what I'm going to do. Because look at all of these that I have. All these little tiny things. If you wanted the whole garlic, you can go ahead and just take this and take off the paper or keep the paper, put some oil on it with salt and pepper, and then wrap it in foil, put it in the oven for about 35 minutes at 350, and then when this is done, be very careful with the foil, unwrap the foil, and these just pop out and you have roasted garlic. So I'm going to show you a few ways. So you have this, right? Half of it. And you could spend like hours taking off the paper, or you could just go like this, take your knife, see how the knife is flat, your palm is stretched, hit it, and the paper just comes off. I'll do it one more time. I have my little guy. There's two guys right there, right? You can use the back of a saute pan if you want and like slam it. If you have one that's too big and like it's kind of curved, I would start off hitting it very softly. And then when you know that they're separated because they're like on a kind of a curve, like a bias, you know what I mean? Then you can smash it more. Look at the paper, it just comes directly off, guys. The smaller the garlic is, the more kind of like scent and potent it is. You want to add garlic towards the end of your cooking process. I've seen so many times people add garlic like right away, but then what do? After they add it, they usually turn off or lower the heat like massively because the garlic's going to burn. So if you have a long cooking time, depending on the recipe, what have you, just go ahead and leave some comments. So there's a few ways to do this. I'm going to go ahead and gather my stuff. This is where I'm going to change technique a little bit. I'm going to put it on top of the knife. Of course, the tip to the board, pivot. And yeah, it's kind of spreading out right now, but you lift the knife. Okay, you lift the knife. You gather the garlic back up. Put your hand flat. Okay, take the stuff off of it. Kind of turn it around. Use a knife to gather them. Look at there. Big minced garlic. So I'm going to put this to the side. I'm going to make so many good things in the next couple days. So excited to do my recorded videos. Okay, so then I have that. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and I'm going to do the cilantro, or you could use this for basil, you could use it for spinach, you could use it for chiffonade lettuce. You know, if you guys love tacos and you use iceberg, which is so crunchy, but it really has, it's like 96% water, guys. But you need it all pretty. So let's just go ahead, the easiest way, with cilantro. Smell that. Yummy. I mean, there are some places where we actually go ahead and just take this whole thing, kind of twist it, and then you could roll it. Yes, there's stems in there, but you're going to chop it so fine that the stems still have flavor. It's not like eating grass. You could do it that way. I'll show you. Especially like Thai restaurants and what have you, right? Woo, the scents in here are so strong in my kitchen. Awesome. Wish you guys were here with me smelling all this stuff. I do the claw. And it doesn't look like my knife is moving, but it's slowly cutting through everything. Then towards the end, everything kind of loosens, so I just gather it back up with my fingers, move my fingers. Excuse me. The weather changed again here, so my body's like, what's going on, right? And look at that. So this is more of a, just a stuff that you'll see on tacos. And if you want it finer, you go ahead and do this one trick. Now, I'll show you how you could do like spinach and basil, the more delicate greens. You could do this with cilantro too. It just takes forever. Like some people are new in the restaurant. We're like, hey, go ahead and pick cilantro and parsley. They're like, what? Yeah, pick it. And then we show them, here, pick it. And depending on their level, sometimes it can be fun to watch. Other times it's very hard to watch because they struggle at it. Okay, so let's just do that, right? So now I have mostly just leaves, the cilantro, right? I'm going to go ahead and bunch it together. And the spinach leaves and the basil, you actually like lay it together. Say like you have a big leaf. You take another leaf, you go like this, and you layer them, and then you roll it. Here, I can show you guys. These leaves are small, so pay close attention. So then you roll it, right? Imagine this is a spinach leaf or something. You do your claw. You want to make sure that the knife goes all the way to the board. Okay? So that's a little bit more for presentation. This is for like, hurry up and get me my taco. That's a little bit more for presentation. But if you just have all the leaves, You could crunch them up. You're not going to bruise them too bad. If they're really nice and you know, good quality stuff that you didn't get on sale, reduced and half off, then you won't bruise your herbs too much. So you basically just like scrunch it in a pile. Do your claw that I've taught you. Cheers! Take a drink, chop, dice. And then you can go ahead and turn it over. Okay? So then you have that. So this looks a little bit more refined, but that still looks good. And this was with the stems. And you really don't see, like, there's one stem right there, but you don't really see, like, a massive amount, except for that guy. He popped out because I just said that. But a massive amount of stems versus this pile that had no stems. Okay? So we're going to put this over here. Okay, you guys, I know. Take a drink. Here. Be careful. Oh, it smells so good. It smells like I should be making something. A homemade marinara, a homemade delicious stir fry with cilantro and garlic and like a vegetable stir fry. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and rinse off my knife. You don't want your board overcrowded. You don't want your knife dirty, okay? I'm going to move these guys over. Back to the sheet pan. Just some of them. Okay, so then we have the tomato. Claw. Do you see how I did that? I'll do it again. Take the tip. I want my tomato that big. 1, 2, 3. It's a rocking motion. You kind of take this of the knife. Right? And then if it gets a little close, and this is what you do, you move your tomatoes over there, and then you can lay this flat, hand straight. Or you can use your fingertips, but once you're done cutting the first piece, you're going to move that. Because tomatoes are very juicy. Right? See? Okay, this is the top of the tomato. You can get a core and core that, and then that will be your first slice. Or you could just go ahead and save this piece. Just like we did with the bell pepper, right? The end of the tomato. Take these pieces. Turn them the other way. Oh, this is like a perfect pico de gallo. Like a vegetable pico de gallo. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. You want to get the tomatoes that are all about the same size, okay? Depending on how big you want them. If you want them big, you could just cut 2, and then your dices. Let's go ahead and do that. 1, 2. Turn them around. Your dices can be like so. The best tomatoes, I think, if you want more of a pico de gallo, chopped dice, I would use a Roma tomato. If you want more of a salsa, which has more, you're going to cook it down probably, or even, a fresh salsa, you're going to use a 5x6 tomato. Most of the vine ripes that you see. Or even if it's not a vine ripe, it looks like a vine ripe. A regular tomato you see at the store. And you want to get a small dice. Turn it around. So you see the comparison? Whoopsie, some tomatoes fell on the floor. I don't have a cat and I don't have a dog, so I'm not sure how that's going to get cleaned up. And then you have the big dice, right? That guy's way too big. So, Thanks for the likes and share. I hope this was informative. I know it was when I first learned it, and I love sharing it with people. I'm going to rinse my hands. Thank you very much. Like and subscribe. Happy holidays. I hope you had a great Christmas. Happy New Year. Be safe. And why not? Hashtag why not? Learn how to cook. We all eat. Okay, cheers. Bye. Beep boop.